It's Pete and it's Duncan
And Lenny.
It's Sneedy and it's Mick. We're joined by guests who pass and rock and kick. Volunteers everywhere. We applaud. Holy moly! It's the Cob Pod.
Holy moly!
It is the Cob Pod. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, chaps round the table up in the Braemar room.
Evening.
Hurrah!
We've got Pete Christie in the corner looking dapper.
Hello.
Yeah. With an unbuttoned shirt. Like
I'm beginning to melt
daring.
already. Are you not hot? You've got 3 layers on.
It's warm.
Boiling.
Man's not hot.
It's warm. We've got Mark Duncan.
Yeah, I'm sporting a gift shirt from Diff Alex.
Wait.
We can't say it.
We can't say what's on it, but
No,
it's
yeah.
very pertinent. Well
I'm not
done.
allowed to wear it at home, so
Yeah. And we've got Matt Lunn.
Good evening.
It's
Nice to be back. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's good to see you. I know you've been very busy. Has it been 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
3 weeks,
Right,
yeah.
because we wanted to roll it into this because we've got a lot of results and a lot of stuff to get through. So if you've been missing us, apologies for that. But welcome back. Now we've got a pile to get through.
already a knock
He's
at the
knocking
door.
at the
Who
door.
could it
I don't-
be?
Let's have a little look. Mystery guest.
That's a big lad.
Yeah, it's a big lad.
Isn't he?
It's a Mr. Pat Berton. Pat, hello. Who are you? Where'd you come from?
Yes, I come from Cobham, where I've lived since 1993, and I joined the club I think back in probably about 95, and very typical thing. Son was a mini for me. 2 sons were minis for many years, and I helped with coaching, played for many years for the All Stars, and had the honour of playing alongside people like Lunny.
Yeah, we did the game.
Speedster, and Pete Christie roaming in the backfield, even quicker speedster,
Handing out business cards.
Every time.
and all the crew at that point. Dick Frost, probably not very speedy, and
Can you
Bruce,
prop?
and Bruce Janelle. We're one of the biggest packs ever seen in international rugby, although we went to the nationals. We're probably not as. We admit we're not as good as the current All Stars, but great fun, fantastic days. Thanks, Mick. But thank you for having me. And would you like me to blather quietly about Run More with Ran More?
We'd love to hear it
Yeah,
because
go for it.
the message have gone out in the
Yeah,
groups
yeah.
and
Sure.
Yeah, let us
Yeah.
know how it's going.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, basically, we've been doing this campaign, as you'll be aware, called Run More with Ran More. We're really involving the Cobham rugby community, parents, players, wider groups within the club, in donating trainers, football boots and rugby boots from their families over a few weeks, which are going to be collected at the club at the moment in a nice big green bin just outside the bar with boots hung over it to remind people. And we're collecting these boots together, and we're sending them down to very underprivileged communities in South Africa. Basically, yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a mission. Life is very tough in the townships for these kids. If we're Europeans like us can't easily comprehend how something as simple as a pair of shoes, trainers, football boots, rugby boots can mean to a kid in one of these places. They really don't have much, whether it's in the poor countryside areas or in the townships, the Kailichas or Alexandras. Life is very tough, and if they can, have something to wear when they've got to walk kilometres to school every day, still many thousands of kids, they've got an ability to have some pride, a bit of dignity, and perhaps, in a simple way, hope for the future. Having a pair of decent shoes, it gives them a feeling of self-worth and inclusion. And I think, it's a bit of a kindness. Act of kindness collectively by communities like us who've probably, we've got our problems with the cost of living, but, we're pretty well off, really, many of us. And so that's what we're doing. We're collecting these shoes, sending them down to South Africa. We're ticking the environmental box and reducing landfill waste as well. But it's really about getting these kids a chance.
Yeah.
Pat, how's it gone? How
Yeah.
many pairs of boots have you got so
Well,
far?
we haven't actually counted them,
Right,
and
okay.
we should
Job
be
for
counting.
tomorrow.
We'll chuck you in the bin after this, Pete, and you can.
But we had 200. We've got a 240 litre bin for what it's worth. We filled it 2.5 times already.
Fantastic.
In 2.5 weeks.
right, okay.
So I think that's 200 plus pairs of.
Got a
And-
spreadsheet
and
for that,
probably-
Mark?
No,
Yeah, you've got the
I've-
volume. Do you know how many boots are in?
I've not been involved. The boots are different sizes. It's very complicated.
we haven't done the calcs yet, and but we're really delighted with the support.
Is it new boots, old boots, any boots?
Yeah, it's new boots, old boots.
So with the
Decent.
season ending,
yeah.
everybody,
Yeah.
as soon as the season ends and you're going to outgrow your boots,
Yeah.
just go pop them straight in the bin.
That's
Straight in the
great.
bin.
In the green
Simple
bin.
as that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Last
Good
match
shout.
of the season,
Yeah.
just boots off, walk home in
Yeah.
your socks, and just
Yeah.
pop it into the green bin.
That would be.
Pat,
that
my
would be
wife
super.
was delighted because I bought, I think, about 6 or 7 pairs of trainers and boots.
Did
there.
you?
So it cleared out under the stairs, basically.
Yeah,
but I've got
that's
2 or
right.
3 kids
Yeah.
away, so they don't know their
Yes.
trainers have gone.
They're listening to this.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Well, I'm sort of trying to work out little things to give out to encourage the vibe, and I was thinking of Churchillian. We shall find shoes in our lockers and in our sheds. We shall find them in our boxes and under our beds. We shall never be defeated. Or
See
never,
what you did there? See what you did there?
never in the field of club rugby charity will so many boots and trainers be donated by so many kind families and kids from Cobham to such a good cause.
That's
Oh, I'll take that.
It's a nice thing. It is a good thing. I've got a bit of buzz out of it. And yeah, I mean, basically, my boss, he's a fellow called Sean Pesh. Quick shout out to him. He's a very successful fund manager. And, for any investors in the Cobham community, he runs a great fund, and you could put in your ISAs and pensions. Ding, ding, ding. It's all over now, but he's very philanthropic. So we do have a charity foundation in Ranmore.
Yeah.
It's called Help More. That's the charity foundation. And we do things like this campaign with our shoes, the Irish and South African charity, shoes down to the townships. We sponsor a guy called Issa Nalareb.
Easy for you to say, Pat.
He's
Yeah.
that well-known, or not very well-known, top paragolfer from Cameroon.
Yeah.
And he's lost both his legs, most of his fingers, to meningococcal sepsis in 2017. It's a hell of a story.
Jeez.
But we support him, and he has a strap on his wrist to hold the club. He's got prosthetics, and he's a great golfer. So we sponsor him, and he's won quite a few tours on the European Disability Golf Association. Tour.
fantastic.
So,
Awesome.
and there's a UK food box activity campaign going on as well, which is quite small, but yeah, it's going really well, and we're massively grateful to you guys for giving me the chance to talk briefly here, and but also through Spawn. Nikki Egger's been fantastic.
Ah, she
Thank you,
always is.
Nikki.
Well done, Nikki.
And Pete, of course. Thank you through the Braemar Stores Bertonians, Matt with the youth, and Louise in the minis have been brilliant, and everybody else who's helped, and Steve for opening the door. Steve Hurd for opening the door. Thank you, Steve. It's going well, and I think it's just something that's pretty positive, and it's ongoing. So yeah, as
Yeah,
Luke
that's
said,
what it sounds
please
like. It's something we
please
can
come.
do again,
Oh yeah,
Sure.
I hope so,
not
yeah.
just
Yeah,
run it through
definitely.
March, because I know that we had some time frames, but
Yeah,
sounds like we just keep
Yeah.
it going or do it a couple of times a year, something
we
like
could
that.
do that.
Yeah,
We could
good.
certainly do that. Yeah, thank you. And we're getting some spin-offs. We've already had the Chelsea Disability Foundation getting in touch, and I think we're hoping to talk. We are talking to a number of schools, but I think through the club,
Yeah.
potentially free school. That would be-
Brilliant.
Thank
Excellent
you.
news.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Thank you.
Well done,
Excellent.
Pat.
Yeah.
Cracking.
Full
Thank you
marks,
so
mate.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, well done. Pat, do you want to hang about?
Yeah,
As we,
I'm delighted.
you sure?
I'd love
Hang
to.
about,
I'd love
see
to.
the magic behind the
The
curtain,
vibe,
all that
yeah,
sort of
absolutely.
stuff.
The vibe.
Because
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
exactly, we're going to bore you to tears for 50%.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I was.
Because we've actually got a lot to we've got a lot to cover. We've got it was the final of the Waterfall Cup last weekend. We've got the 4th annual Kieran Notter Memorial Match. We've got a lot of stuff going on. Shall we start with the Kieran Notter Memorial Match, because it's
That's
Yeah,
splitting.
yeah, it was an absolutely fantastic event. 4th year, turnout was brilliant. We had a massive squad, 29 players. Everybody got a half. They turned up with 22. Told us they didn't have a front row, so we gave them a couple, Humber and JT.
Nice.
And they duly shoved us over in the scrum and scored a couple of tries, including one from Humber. So we changed that at half time.
Who are you playing?
We were playing London Irish. We play them every year, and it's a great group of guys.
They support
and
it well, don't they?
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
they earmark this particular match in their calendar and make sure that they get a good turnout. Some of Kieran's family flew over, and his son Ryan played the full 70 minutes. Lots of tries, 41-38 to Irish. At the end there, but no, it was played in good spirits. Minute silence. I think it's just a really great match. Interestingly, the podfather Sneed, gave up all responsibilities. Craig was captain.
Yeah.
So Sneedy didn't want to even throw out in the line out, so he played 7. When Craig went off, Billy Davo. He came on and he captained the side in the second half, so he's got another tick onto his stat book. So he's not only first team, but now the All Stars as well. But no, great event, well supported. The bar was full with the England game afterwards. And
Of course, it was Super Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah. So no, fantastic event. I would encourage people to come down, and it's quite a family feel about it because there's lots of kids and relatives and things.
Amazing. I've got written here, in fact, a seamless link, because the next morning was the Waterfall Cup final, certainly for the under 12s, I believe.
For some age groups, yeah. Some are this weekend, so it spreads out, yeah.
I know we're going to look for refs. We're going to come on to that. So I was put down to ref at the London Irish versus Terrington under 12s final, right? And I walk onto the pitch and go and see all the coaches, and just something, a little faint bell, a little bell in the back of your mind kind of tinkles away, and both teams, I'm going to say, are going at it. So Terrington and London Irish have a history. I think a lot of players go from one team to another. I think they're all at school together, and it was a ferocious game. It was fantastic, and I think one of the Irish boys let his emotions get the better of him and dropped a couple of expletives aimed at me. So just pointed a whistle, took my hat off, and went over and took him aside and had a quick chat with him. And he felt that he was going to tears a little bit, and just had given him a bit of the speech of the values of rugby. Well, the coaches were chatting to the teams and just marching them back a bit of 7 yards, whatever it is. Here's me in mid-flow. I've just landed my "it's about values. You're not showing the values. You're going to have to take a 5-minute bit to the pitch." The London Irish coach comes on, sees me, and goes, "Oh, effing hell!" And it's Big Tanner, the captain of Irish, who was playing. Oh no! Where were you last night? It was brilliant. So he just undid a 1-minute diatribe for me. It was a great moment. So we hugged it out at half time, and it was great.
The chap that from New York, the flight to New York. Not the same chap.
Not the same chap.
No, that was a different. No. Okay.
Yeah, that was the Reeves Bay Bridge.
Yes.
Brother.
Okay, yeah.
So that was that. But under 12s did well in the Waterfall Cup. I don't have any results here in the notes.
No, it's difficult over 3 weeks. I mean, I can do a little bit with the Colts.
Yeah.
I think last time we were on, we were about to head off to Twickenham, because I think the Ones had played them the week before.
Right.
And we had a really narrow loss. So we didn't finish top of our group. So we lost 10-7, I think it was, but on a real stodge pitch. And then School Sevens has kicked in.
Right.
So Colts have been decimated from having like 27 players available to... I mean, we played one game with 14 players against Wimbledon.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't had as good a run as we'd have liked, but we've got our final at the crack of dawn at Rygations on Sunday. I think 8 o'clock meet. Darren's put in the chat, which is not going to go down very well. 17-year-olds have all got fake ID. So ding. We'll see how many we get to kick off the game. But it's tough. We've got Rosslyn Park Sevens next season. They've had School Sevens today.
Mm-hmm.
There's been Blue Coat Sevens at Reading for all of those not in the first teams of various schools.
Yeah.
With it, they pick up injuries. They get asked by their schools not to play for clubs, and it's withering away the season, unfortunately, after having some really good games. But we had 12 tonight, which is about usual this time of the season. So they've got their final. I think the only other update I can give you is the under-18 girls played, I think, their final round game. So if you remember, they clubbed together with Dorking and Hove, and they had a fixture over at Cobham. And I think both teams managed to get about 13 players on the pitch. And our girls absolutely clobbered Cobham. It was reported as 50 points to 6, but I think it was
really
more than that. But the reason I'm mentioning that is that we only had 2 or 3 girls playing, and they're all really new to rugby. And I believe from Rob, the Hove coach, that all of the girls scored, which is great. So they sometimes when you're new, you sort of find yourself a bit out of position all the time. It's hard to get into a game when you're new to it, but getting them to score tries in that sort of game just probably give them a bit of a lift. So that's the only results I can share with you.
That makes 75, doesn't it?
Yeah.
15-5 to 75. 15-5 to 75.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There we go. See?
Know that.
That's what happens when you get a fund manager in there, isn't it? So you get the numbers right. Duncan, can you take us through the under 14A boys?
I'll try if I
Yeah.
can find it.
Down the bottom.
Because we'll probably just stick to the youths for a bit.
I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the under 14A boys, the under 14A Tigers came into their gold medal match full of confidence, having played with great freedom through the qualification phase. Unfortunately for the Tigers, they came up against a Roslyn Park side that got their emotional intensity to a great level, nullifying nearly everything the Tigers tried. Congratulations to RP on a great performance, some great learning for our players at the end of a successful campaign. Second in Surrey is a fantastic achievement. Although the players are disappointed right now, they will hopefully understand how well they have done in the coming days. Final result was 22-7. A lovely team try scored and converted by Hugo Edwards.
Second in Surrey, that's no disgrace at all, is it?
That's
a
all right.
fantastic achievement.
That's Owen's age group, and they, I think, marginally won their group, didn't they? So they got through to the final against Roslyn Park, which is always going to be tough, right? Roslyn Park is a behemoth of the club. So every age group, they're very, very strong. But that's a great result, and hopefully bodes well for next year as well for that group.
Nice.
Yeah, they've done a great job in recruiting this year, and the coaching has been really good in that group. And I think they're going to go from strength to strength. You got a voice note for the under 14Bs, Mick?
Yeah, we do.
The Cobham under-14 Lions, the B team for that year, came up against London Scottish this past weekend in the Bronze Cup for the Surrey Waterfall Cup. And the London Scottish only have one side, so effectively we were playing their A side. And the boys put in a fantastic performance. Defensively, I can't fault them. They came up against quite a spirited and quite a strong London Scottish side, so it would have been easy for them to throw the towel in and accept defeat, but they didn't, and they challenged right to the end. So very proud of them. Despite not winning the match, they can be very, very proud for the way they played and the way they represented their club and the way they represented themselves. And we look forward to celebrating a wonderful season with them at the awards night on the 27th of March.
Thank you, Podfather Sneed.
I was just about to say, it sounds very similar to Podfather Sneed. We've never heard him on the
No, we haven't. Doesn't exist.
He refuses to speak when he's in here.
Breaking his anonymity there.
Yeah.
Now, Duncan, can you just see through the window there? I can see the.
Well, I can. Yeah, there's a shadowy figure.
All right, let's
Really?
see if there's someone coming in. Give me a second. It's the only Coach Matt Hawkins. How you doing?
Yes, coach.
How you doing? You're right. Got the name wrong though.
Oh, Hawks.
Hawks. There you
Hawks. I told you it was Matt Hawks.
did.
Someone said to me it was Hawkins. This guy.
In the WhatsApp group, somebody wrote Hawkins.
Absolute nonsense. Absolute
go.
nonsense.
The coach for the twos, whoever he may be.
Matt, stick your grid a bit this far away from that microphone and tell us who are you and where'd you come from?
Well, I'm Matt. I am a PE teacher, all the way from sunny Horsham, and yeah, I work with special needs kids and also at Cobham Rugby Club now.
Brilliant. Now, I've had the pleasure of being coached by you in a couple of twos games this year with a quick action warm-up, which is probably the only meaningful warm-up I have done in my rugby career to date. How's the twos season gone?
It's been really good. I mean, I think we're the guys who keep everything together. I think what we've produced this year, some really good rugby, people playing with smiles on their faces, and new people coming in. We look after them when they come in. We have a great attitude where if you're representing Cobham, we try and get you 40 minutes of rugby, and I think that's worked really well with a lot of players. Even if it means we don't necessarily win, I think that belief is really important, and we feed into the ones, and it's really nice to see when our second team players playing the ones. So very happy coachy.
Yeah. And you've got quite a good mix in the squad, because you've got some old boy vets, you've had TC turn out a couple of times, so you've got players that are knocking on the ones door, plus you form a bridge between the youth and the seniors, which is such a difficult thing to balance, right?
It's one of the hardest jobs, I think, trying to learn all the names for start off, because getting old. Found out that Dan Walsh is actually 10 years younger than me tonight. That was quite scary. But yeah, that bridge, I think, for us is so important. And I think as a club, it's going to be, with Melts and support as well, I think that's just going to drive the club forward. And I think there's such an exciting future here. I think getting relegated last year and then producing some of the wins we've had this year has just actually turned the club around.
Matt, can I ask you, what's been the highlight for you this year? Which game would you pick out and say that was the one?
Well, that's really interesting. We had a couple of really good nail biters against KCS Old Boys, both draws. Sneedy getting sin-binned after he'd been on for 5 minutes. As usual. And then we drew there at their place with 13 men left on the pitch and 1 minute on the clock and they score, so that was a shame. And then we had the same here, 26 all. My favourite, though, was actually, we played over at Dorking, first game of the season. Smallest pitch in the world. Old club, knew a lot of the players against us. We were 20 points down at half-time, and it was a 20-point hill. We came back and won by 20, 30 points in the end. So cracking game in the second half. You know, and that's just how our season's gone. You know, we can play absolutely dire rubbish for 20 minutes and then play some blistering, amazing rugby. And then but that's twos rugby. You know, you get good things, you get bad things, but they keep going. And
Was it something in that game that flicked, or was it the hairdryer treatment at half time for the coach?
Dorking was literally, it was a 20-point hill. We just said, stick in 20 minutes. And it'll be 20 points.
Was there a slope on the pitch?
I know which pitch you're on, over the top.
The tiny little one right at the back, up near the pub. Yeah, no, it was one of those games where they were trying to be big bullies and it didn't work going downhill.
You had a game where you had the front five were all front rows.
We had an amazing game with the front row. And I remember because you guys talked about it on the pod, that was quite interesting. So that was a really good game. It was just like, clubs can't get front row forwards, and here we are with 5 of them playing. And they won, and they just played out of their skin. We should never have won that game with what we had up front, but we did, and it was just the magic of Cobham Rugby Club that it just seems to be a little bit of stardust every now and then, just sprinkles around, and away we go. So it's all good fun.
Brilliant. What have we got to close the season then? How many more games?
2, got top of the league, Beckhold Boys on the hill at their place on Saturday. That'll be a good one. We beat them at ours, and then again, the old foe, Dorking, coming here on the last game of the season.
Yeah. When is that, Matt? When's the last game?
Last game, 5th of April.
So same.
Just before the end of season dinner. Can't go wrong.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, could go wrong.
But lots of things will go wrong that day.
Matt, I might have some... So, Colts have got their cup final Sunday, and there isn't a fixture plan for the Colts on the 6th, sorry.
Gutted.
And I know that there's been 4 or 5 of our Colts have played twos. So, and they're keen. They're always keen to play. The guys that have played for you will play anytime, any place, anywhere. So I'll make sure that Melts knows who's available.
Yeah, I think that conduit, Melts, is just natural.
Yeah, he's a dream.
He's really worked wonders. I don't know what he does on Friday afternoons, but it's not work. Sorry, Melts. Sorry, probably in a pub. But no, I mean, I think the beauty of the twos is literally that link of brilliant. Nobody seems out of place, right? And it's really beautiful. Like the old boys coming in, they all have said like they've really enjoyed it. It has a really lovely feel about it, which has obviously changed Now, some players didn't want to play. The Vets didn't really want to come up, but they're all there, you know.
You had Kenny Rogers turn out a couple of times.
TC as well.
TC, no, Kenny Rogers is Craig.
No, I know.
Yes, we had Kenny Rogers turn up. He played over at Teddington. He played a really great game. And we'll leave it at that.
For 12 minutes.
6.
Class. And then what else for the twos? Has there been, obviously there's been a standout game for you, but has there been a standout moment that you can put your
I'll give you that one.
thumb
This is my favourite one of the season. Playing at home, Cam scores in the far corner and he just screams across the pitch, "Matt, I did it!" And we all cheered at him because that was his first try for Cobham. And that was the most amazing moment.
No way.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it was awesome to see. He just wanted to cheer and celebrate with everybody, but he shouted across the pitch to me. It was just like, you know, those are magic moments as coaches. You know, you don't see those all the time, and when you get them, it's like, oh wow. So
Yeah,
Brilliant.
doesn't matter, you know, what you're doing.
I love that.
he's got the heart of the lion.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Oh, he's really improved this year.
Yeah.
Absolutely, without shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
Top boy.
And you had Corbin presenting over the line. That happened over here.
Yeah, we've had lots of. Oh, bless.
And then looking forward to next year. So, forgive me, where are we in the league for the
So
twos?
twos are fourth,
Yeah.
which isn't bad. I think we're probably. If we finish third, I'll be really chuffed with that. I mean,
Great.
it's one of those leagues where you play some games, don't play some games, and I think I'm back again next year, which is nice.
Brilliant,
You know,
Matt.
I
Good.
really enjoyed it here, and I think push again, maybe top 2 next year would be really nice.
And
Deal.
Yeah.
are you going to turn out for the All Stars, Matt? Can you prop?
I'm not allowed to anymore. That's such a shame. I have no back.
Says who?
I'd love to, but I definitely would get told off for that one.
Nice. Well, maybe we might see you on the pitch for Give a Touch.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd like to go to Twickenham though. That'd be quite nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
We will talk about
Yeah,
that.
that's a really good point. Really good point. Well, Matt, it's warm in this room
It is
for
very
the,
warm.
for the
I
thousands
come
of
over with a jumper
listeners.
on and I'm like,
And we'll leave you to it, mate. But thanks very much for
Thank you.
all you do in the twos. Thanks very much for the best warm up I've ever had before a game, and good luck for the last couple of games of the season. Go well
yeah, thank you.
and enjoy the dinner on the 5th.
I can't wait. It'll be great dinner. Lovely food there.
Good
Very
man.
good.
Cheers.
Thanks,
Thanks,
man.
man.
Cheers, man.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Brilliant. I'll tell you what, that's great.
Very good.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
How about, should we crack on with we did under 14Bs there that Podfather Sneed came in and gave us that little voice note on. I've got another voice note, I believe, is from the under 13s Griffins. If I can find it. Here it goes.
Okay, Cobb Pod. Review of last Sunday's
Very formal.
Griffins game, Cobham B against Harlequins Amateurs at Richmond Rugby Club. It was a great day out. Somewhat eye-opening to see Harlequins Amateurs turn up with around about 6 London Irish guys that were trying to disguise it with green socks and their tops inside out. But we'll let that one slide. It's been a bit of a torrid year for the Griffins so far, with lots of movements within the club and lots of movements up and down. So we've had no consistency in the heights and the highs that we had last year. But the boys stood up to the challenge remarkably well. Between Coach Gareth, Chef, and Big Nick, as we call, we instilled the fact that we're going to set the record straight. A little bit of consistency leading up to this meant that the boys knew exactly their positions and their placement. Starting from the front, our scrum remained firm and strong. No more, we are small guys. We have big guys in the pack, and we stood our ground. Every scrum was a shove on and meters made. Our backs ran like absolute lions, and they formed the ball out from base out wide. Special mention goes to the flying red scrum hat, Hugo, for some chinking runs. Adrianus and Finley Palmer-Smith, both weighing under 50 kilos, but tackled like lions. Colin Wolfe for his jackling. Big Bass, Bootsy and Zach for their dominant forward play. They were ferocious. Many tries are running, starting with a nice early try from Lewis. Much to our surprise, we got the first try on the scoreboard, and from that point, we just grew and grew in confidence. 3 subs, boys happy to tap in and tap out but crucially, many, many smiles. It was a great way to finish the Griffin season with a win and with a shield. Many smiles, many happy parents, and the old adage that we're small here in Cobham didn't count for anything.
Ding.
Our little lads tackled like lions, hang on like lions, and our big boys were dominant in the scrum. It was a wonderful day out at Richmond, and looking forward to our under-14s Griffins.
Did they get to play on the big pitch? They wouldn't let us play on the big pitch.
No, I doubt it.
Pass. I don't know. What a great, wee voice note that was.
Yeah,
It was
excellent.
full of verve.
I was taken away with it. I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
Very proud, wasn't he?
I really love that.
Rightly so.
Right, class. I've got an under 12s voice note here as well. Stand by, please.
With the under 12 Lions Cobham Rugby players,
Yeah.
we
Always
lost
with the mouth full of food.
7-5 to Epsom and
Sutton and Epsom.
Yeah. It was a really good match.
I'm just double checking. Did I play this last week or 3 weeks ago?
I think you might have.
No.
There was one where there were 3 boys and they'd just eaten
We
some.
scored
That's
some
right.
good tries, lots of good tackles, and I think it was just quite unlucky that we lost.
And then we've got Angus here, who is currently troughing 2 garlic breads.
Yeah, no, definitely. I've heard this
Angus,
before,
we
mate.
grabbed up.
Good, we played that one as well. Just I'll do it again. There we go. How about I'll give you a wee take on the under 12s in the Waterfall Cup, which was done at Camberley.
Yeah.
Our development squad played first, which is our wonderful Lions, against quite a strong Guildfordians squad with a couple of large thank you chaps in it, and we were about 4-0 down, where I just went, you need to go and give the other coach a bit of an eye and say, shall we have a little play? And so they quite fairly and rightly took a kid off, and by the end of the first half it was 1 try to us, 7 to them. And we came back and we lost 8-7.
Wow.
So and they brought everyone back on again.
Oh yeah.
But something happened. Some sort of
Capture
confidence. We had guys like James Taylor, who sprinted on the pitch, rolling sub, sprinted on the pitch, tackled up a bit of an upright tackle, just rolled, ripped the ball, ran the length of the field, scored a try. And everyone, oh, that James Taylor.
He's got his dad's engine, does he?
He that time he did, and then everyone else went, oh, I can probably do that, and then everyone just rose. It was fantastic. I was looking around at the mums and dads saying, what's it was just it was the most fantastic moment. So a shout out to the Guildfordians coaches for equalising the game to make it good fun. And then it was a real cracking finish. And then our Eagles played a couple of hours after that, and I think they just lost 2-1 in their final. They were shooting kind of mid-table at the time, and they played
Not a close game,
actually. Yeah, it was pretty close.
That's what
game.
you want, though. Nobody wants to be beaten 8-0. No one wants to win 8-0.
No, it was great.
No.
It was a great moment, and I must say, Camden did a good job. They had all the tents out, and they've got quite a nice arrangement where everything's within spitting distance of the club.
Yeah.
Actually, so well done on the 12s. It was
that's good.
Good job. Now, Lonnie, I've got something in here for you. You got a couple of wee bits, a couple of House of Lun.
There's a few things I can talk about.
Yeah.
So I'll start with a couple of negatives. So I know we've got a video clip to follow this. So we'll start with I think I may have mentioned it on the pod, where our under 12 girls are a particularly strong side, and I refed them the other day. Actually, they did lose 6-5 against Wimbledon, but I think it's possibly the only loss they've had, and they're very, very good. They also happen to have 3 girls who have very, very short hair. And at the beginning of the season, we escalated to Surrey around some sort of false accusations from other clubs saying that Cobham are fielding boys. So we spoke right to the top of Surrey about this, and they did some. Unfortunately, it was a half-assed effort at trying to quell anything. And it ended up, I think it was in January, there was a game here with, I think it was Rosslyn Park and Battersea who had clustered together.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, a parent came on the pitch and shouted directly at one of our short-haired girls, telling her that she doesn't belong there, and used a long list of expletives.
Gee whiz.
Pushed our coach.
Outrageous behaviour.
No, it is. The reason I bring it up is that last night, the under-12 coaches, so Dave Stewart, Aaron and Alex, were present on an RFU disciplinary hearing. It lasted 2 hours. Sim and myself, both as board members, and me as chair of youth and girls rugby, we were on just for support. We weren't asked to comment on anything, but it was a fascinating process. 2 or 3 highly paid barristers and a proper judge, all on a Zoom meeting. And this chap has been banned and made to pay costs. He's banned until, I think, it's probably mid to late October.
Okay.
But what was interesting was he admitted everything apart from the accusation that he actually spoke directly to the girl in question. And then as the barristers started to go through his statement and re-quote him on what he had said earlier, they absolutely unravelled him. And it was really obvious that...
Good.
You know, they were very, very polite. There was nothing sanctimonious about the barristers. They were just dead straight. And then at the end, they all just said, guilty, guilty, guilty. You know, no mitigations, nothing taken in. But it's a really sad... We had a WhatsApp chat going, and so it was just a really sad state of affairs to be in. And it's a number of safeguarding things we've had this year. But, you know, the positive side is we've got a really strong safeguarding team here. We've got Emmeline and Amy who do all sorts of things and deal with any issues we've got. We did an audit last week with the RFU last Thursday, and passed that with flying colours. Didn't need any help. I think they were quite happy and comfortable that we were doing all the right things and all of our policies were there. So it's a big thing, safeguarding. But those under-12 girls, I'll tell you a little bit more about them because they had a great weekend in a little bit. But are you going to play something?
Yeah, so we've got a video from, I think, the leading ladies rugby podcast in the UK. Let's have a little listen.
The team at the Old School House pub.
And finally want to give a message to all of the girls at Cobham RFC, but in particular to the girls who have got the short hair.
Woo!
Rock it, do your thing. It doesn't matter if you've got long hair, short hair, curly hair, straight hair. Do your thing. And you know what? If you're running around them and scoring, who the hell cares?
Yeah, and thanks for letting me do my kicking sessions there. I really appreciate it and love the pitches and facilities. So go Cobham!
Go Cobham.
There you go. So who are they, Lenny?
So Ellie Culldane,
yeah,
who's Harlequins in England fullback, absolutely brilliant player.
Yeah, tremendous.
Tiny as well, by the way.
Really?
I've met her. She's really tiny, but super fast and strong. And Jess Breach. So Jess Breach is Saracens at the moment and probably starting winger for England. She's a Pulborough girl, I think, from memory. I've coached with her dad, John Breach, when they brought Pulborough girls up here to play. But yeah, really good shout out for that. So very positive.
Nice. What else from House of Lan?
Well, the other thing is Jason Corbett, who runs our referees. So he does all of the scheduling for our referees. He puts on all the courses, and I think you've done one.
Yeah.
I did it with you.
Yeah. And we've got potentially... Well, we lost a couple last year, Cobus and I think Pete left. I think it was those two left. And it looks like, some of these guys, they haven't got kids at the club. They just come and ref. And, some of them are in their 60s now and are deciding to bring up their boots. Are you still reffing, Pete?
No.
No, right.
Get a whistle in the bag,
But
Pete.
Jason's put together a sort of letter that we're going to send out to all the club members. But I thought I'd take the opportunity just to say, look, there is a real need for referees. Jason and the local Surrey RFU and referees put on good courses, and if you're at all interested, you will not be turned away. What you're not committing to is, refereeing every weekend or anything like that. But the bigger pool we've got, the more we can spread the load, and we really need each age group to have at least 2 referees. Otherwise, when it does come to your Waterfall Cups, if you're not offering up referees to the other age groups, then frankly you'll be at the bottom of the list to get a referee. Is the sort of stance we're going to have to take now. We've got great coaches like we've got Pete and Derek in the under-16s. I referee. I'll be refereeing again on Sunday for the Colts. Chris Hambleton still refs. He's a society ref. Got Gary Osno, who's a senior ref.
Don't call me Gary.
Yeah, we've got Jason and Jez who've been refereeing. We've got Ewan who's come through the ranks. He really enjoys his refereeing. Owen referees very well, and I know you do it in the under-12. So, yeah, I'll be approaching the under-11s and getting some more under-12s and 13 coaches just out there on the field. It is. I love it. I have to say, it's brilliant to do it with the kids because it is quite a coaching role.
I've got to say, I'd love to see Richard Nish out there
and Pat Metican.
But Richard Nish just in a jacket with a pocket square, refereeing in his his garb.
Sometimes always never on his buttons.
He got a pipe as well.
And then you mentioned something about a mental health leader.
Yeah. So I found out about this. I work for a company, Capgemini. They're a big IT systems integrator. And I was actually at International Women's Day last week. I was on a panel. And I met a couple of women who have been doing a program called Ignite, which is about leadership. And it's run with Harlequins. So we've had 5 or 6 women line up with Harlequins women and go through this sort of management leadership program, Ignite. And it was great to hear that story. And I think on the same day, I'd seen something come out about another rugby thing, because Cap is a massive rugby. The French and the English play every year, and it's a real ding-dong. I've coached the English team a couple of times. But anyway, it's a massive rugby thing. And they're now working with Loose Heads, which is a mental health charity, all focused on rugby clubs. Their aim is to get, a mental health specialist or leader in every rugby club in the UK. That's what they want to do. And again, we're doing some IT stuff, providing some technical platforms and whatnot to help grow that. So I've got some links into Loosehead. So the shout out, I guess, on the podcast is if anybody's interested in looking into this and becoming, mental health leader for the club. I'm looking for some seniors really to pick this up. Can be a small group, but it sounds like a great thing. And I'm sure we can bring them onto the pod if we wanted to.
Yeah.
The charity, they'd be more than happy to help.
So if you're telepathetic, give Matt a call and let him know.
His phone's already, we haven't even published the pod, his phone's got him.
I'm telepathetic, but I'd be no good in the mental health.
You're certainly pathetic. Hey, too much?
I had one other thing, if it's all right.
Mate, please.
That one of our coaches here is Nathan Spratt, and we all know Spratt. So Nathan's been a coach. He was our age group coach for a while. He's brilliant. He's done a load of things with the girls, the Harlequins Academy. He's now leading the sort of RFU Southeast under 18 stuff. So he's very busy. Still, obviously, he works for Harlequins. And when Harlequins ask him a question and say, Nathan, we have the Professional Women's Rugby Finals Day at the StoneX on X date. Every club has got to bring every team's got to bring a local club to them for the tournament that is being played before the World Cup, the Cup final. So the final was between Gloucester and Saracens on Sunday. Yeah, but there was a massive tournament of under 12s and under 14s, and they came from all over. So Sale would have bought one down, Leicester would have bought one, Loughborough would have bought one down, and they all got represented. So who did Harlequins take? Well, they took Cobham because it was given to Nathan Spratt as the job.
Local, very loose term.
Yeah. But Alex and Jeff, the managers for those 2 age groups, absolutely leapt on it. Organised coaches,
fun bus,
bucket loads of parents up there, and it just sounded like a fabulous day. The feedback I've got, I've seen a load of photos and videos. Some of the rugby the girls are playing is out of this world. It really is. But the 12s went through undefeated, so they won 4 out of 4. And I believe the under-14s who have had a bit of a torrid time this season. They've not won many games in Surrey, but they won 3 out of 4 of theirs. So bit of a boost for them.
Good stuff.
And I guess it shows the standard of what you got in Surrey. So
yeah, maybe it does.
That's fantastic. Well
but
done.
They had a great day out, which is what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
I saw him he was training with the seniors today, Spratty.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done.
Oh, good.
Class. Now, Emma, looking forward, we got a bunch of stuff coming up, and it's well worth trying to get your head around the various moving parts as we close out the season. So I've got here the Vets Twickenham Charity Tournament.
Oh.
Right, go on, Pete.
24th of May.
Yeah.
We've been invited with, I think, 5 other sides.
Yeah.
Matt's
That
going,
was
I hear.
quite-
Matt said he was going, didn't he? Did hear
I don't know.
Oh, he did say.
He said he wants to go coach. He
Yeah.
wants to be
Yeah.
on the sideline.
I know, even with my group of sort of older statesmen, we're all thinking, that's going to be a great day out. We've got to go along to Twickenham and watch that.
I thought you were going to put your name down.
Renew your first
It
aid.
sounded like you were going to put your name down.
Pete, renew your first aid, mate.
I've already put Pat's name down.
So it's at Twickenham Charity Tournament in
just says no.
aid of the Injured Players Foundation. Great cause.
Yeah.
6
excellent.
teams, round-robin tournament. Each team plays 2 15-minute group games and a 20-minute final. Live music, bar open all day. I'm liking this more and more.
Well, there we go.
Families welcome, and the club's playing Old Cillians RUFV. Not quite sure what that's about. Sandown and Shanklin RFC, Chiswick RFC, Stafford RFC, Stratford upon Avon RFC, according to the
Nice.
spelling.
The French version.
And obviously, Cobham All Stars. Fantastic. What a great day out that will be.
Dear,
great, yeah.
dear me. And then we're also running our own tens tournament. aren't we?
Yeah.
Miles and myself.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of the legwork, to be honest. So I think we've 6 or 7 teams confirmed now. I reached out to a couple of Sussex teams today, East Grinstead, and see if they'll fill in a few places.
Yeah.
But that's a sort of a slight fundraising, bit of fun. I think Miles is tasked with upgrading some of the portable lights, so he's got a bit of a fundraising thing going there. But
Can you do
great
the
fun.
shower heads?
That's your next project. But a long time ago, when I was fixture secretary, we used to run a Vets tournament quite frequently.
Yeah.
And it was always really well attended, and it was great fun. And I don't know how it started. I don't know why it stopped it.
Well,
Can't remember when. But now it's reinstated.
We've
Miles
cranked
is
it
on
back
it.
up.
So
What's your date, Matt, for that?
it's the 29th, the Saturday, yeah.
May.
No,
Make it-
of
April.
April.
29th of April. Yeah.
Next week, Saturday.
Yeah.
no, hold on. Next week, Saturday, is 29th of March.
Oh, April.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it April or
I
March?
think it's March. I think it's really imminent.
Yes, it is
Yeah,
March.
Really imminent.
Yeah.
So it's the
No,
same
you're right.
day as Jeff is running his Sevens little tournament as a precursor to the Monaco trip for the under-12s, 11s.
nice. Okay.
So busy
Partly
day at the club.
sponsored by the Braemar All Stars. let me
Oh,
tell
there
you.
we go.
Yeah,
Thank
we've
you,
chipped
Pete.
in a few quid.
Oh, well done, mate. Brilliant. I mean, we've got, obviously, this weekend coming, we've got the Minis Tour
Oh, yeah.
down to PGL Windmill. We're off to Bristol.
Whoa. I heard that you guys got a fun bus. Oh,
There's a
so
fun bus.
cute.
So I'm running the tour, and I did not plan on a fun bus because we've got lots of different kids doing after school stuff on a Friday.
Yeah.
But there was a conversation had
You need
at the
the fun
sidelines,
bus.
and so we found a small bus that can take some of the parents,
How
and some
many
of the
cases
kids.
of beer can it hold?
That is
It's a small bus. There's no
overrating
toilet.
fact. Kids on the roof. Bus. That will be great.
So you're the under-12s. You're going away. Where are you going?
We're off to Brazil.
Yeah, lovely.
We're off on the Tour de Bristol.
14s are away this weekend as well.
I think so. Yeah,
I can't remember where they're going. But
quite busy. And in fact, I'll put it on the pod because one of the things we're doing on the Saturday is we've got a whole bunch of tickets, with 60 odd tickets, and we're off to see Bristol play Exeter. Bit of a localish grudge match. It could be quite spicy. And I was chatting to Bristol Bears, and they've said, do you know what? Next time Harlequins come, why don't you get use a couple of freebie tickets? So if anyone wants a couple of freebie tickets and wants to donate some money to Miles's light fund, I'll take my 20 quid. There's 50 quid ish in the pot. That'd be good. If you fancy travelling, which is magic. We've got the West Country Tour.
Yes.
Middle of April. With the awards night on, that's next week. It says March 27th. Is that right?
Next week, Thursday?
What's that, Lenny?
That can't be right.
Surely must be April 27th. I don't know.
Pass. We'll get back to you on that. And of course, the mighty Kenya Tour, which ain't too far away.
And Monaco.
Ooh.
And Monaco.
Yeah.
Kids going to Monaco.
I saw some shirts have been delivered already.
Yeah. Oh, man, there's so much going
Kenya
on.
Tour.
Absolutely fantastic. How about the ones? Because we're coming. We haven't really talked about the seniors yet, apart from the twos. So, Pete, how are we doing on the table?
I had a quick quick look at the table. So Twickenham top on 81 points. Ruts second, also on 81 points. Vandals on 79. And ourselves Cobham fourth on 70 points. But, I mean, big weekend this weekend. We've got East Grinstead away. Twickenham are playing Vandals. I mean, that's going to be a key game, isn't it? Because Vandals actually beat Ruts.
Both got similar pitches.
So and Ruts have got Hove away, so that should be a win for them, really.
Okay.
On 4.
Okay.
And then on the 5th of April, last game of the league season for us, we've got Ruts away. So we can still play a part in determining, who wins this league. Hove play Twickenham, and Vandals play KCS. So you would think Vandals and Twickenham would win, and who knows with the old Ruts Cobham game. Yeah, we shall have to wait and see.
Is it 3 up or?
No, it's 1.
1 up.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 1 up.
That's competitive.
That could be spicy.
I mean, I think it'll be Twickenham, but
okay,
that's my guess. So.
Yeah. Class. We've also got the Women's Six Nations starting.
Yeah, this weekend.
And I see Alex.
My fantasy team.
Right, yeah. So Alex put a fantasy team up. I don't know how we get that to zap it into the masses, but I'd quite fancy having a go at it.
Yeah, I got Jess Breach and Ellie Kildare. That's the first thing I put
there
on
you
mine,
go.
because that's where they get the points, yeah.
Magic Rachel Malcolm's going to be on mine.
Is that the 10 for Scotland?
She plays in the pack. She's I played rugby with her dad, who is just phenomenal rugby player. So,
was there any rugby on the weekend, Meg?
I only watched pieces of it, I'll be honest.
I mean, I was playing against actual Irish during the Irish game. We finished and we walked in and it was 12-10 to Ireland at that point. Before the 20-minute red card.
Yeah.
It's actually, I mean, it ended up being much closer than it was expected to be by some distance. I mean, Italy. They had a couple of chances right at the end.
Yeah, they did.
They did. It was far closer. I think Ireland had they'd given up. They'd sort of switched off towards the end of the tournament after their spanking at the hands of France the week before. So I think they just didn't. They were going through the motions, and they've got players retiring. And I just my sense with Ireland is that it feels a little bit like they're coming to the end of a cycle. I don't see them looking like they've got 3 years to build something magic for the next World Cup.
And Crowley kicked so badly. I mean, they should have been 6 or 8 points further clear. I mean, his place kicking was just
and Prendergast missed the most tackles out of anybody in the
stat. Yeah,
more than Alex Mitchell.
Yeah. 18 missed tackles. So if you play against Ireland, just run at Prendergast.
Hit the channel.
Yeah. 10 channel, that's it.
He's a sort of tall.
He's
gangly.
tall, but he's also got he's knock-kneed. I don't know. He just doesn't. I feel like he's going to get snapped in half at some point. So
starting for the Lions before you know it.
Yeah. Well, I know. Yeah.
The Southern Hemisphere can only wish.
So a couple of questions for everyone then, and Pat, for you, if you could rate all of the teams on a kind of school scorecard basis, A+, A, B-, blah, 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 all the way down to D, fail, where...
Yeah, so go by the table. We'll start with France, maybe.
Wales unclassified.
Yeah. So let's start with France. Where are they on that school chart?
I think they're A+.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're going all in?
Yeah.
Top tries. I think I don't know what quite happened in the England game, but they did look powerful.
They threw it away, didn't they? Close to
catching the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They made so many chances, didn't they?
Yeah.
They should have won, but perhaps we always bring the best out of the French, or we bring the worst out of the French, maybe.
I mean, can I try my best to downgrade France from an A+ to an A/A- for Movaka's quite clearly flying headbutt on the deck?
Yeah, but that's an isolated incident in what otherwise was an excellent tournament.
He ruined it for everyone.
Yeah. He's been cited. So he's
been cited, but he should have gone off. The whistle had gone. The game had stopped.
Yeah,
and then you make an effort to get close to someone.
The argument was that there wasn't enough force, but
irrelevant argument. Irrelevant.
You're not very good at headbutting, therefore we're not going to send you on.
No,
Yeah, it was a weak headbutt.
Yeah.
That's
Very poor
what
effort.
Gregor said, though. He said it's an off-the-ball incident, so force has nothing to do with it. It's a headbutt. Like,
Interesting.
that's,
Okay.
And he's right.
He's
So
right.
France top, so we're giving them some sort of A plus, something big stamp.
Yeah.
Kutumf,
Most tries, in Six Nations, they were imperious. And if you consider like Jegu, where he came on at 12 when they had a 7-1 bench and didn't miss a beat. Like they've just got so much depth, and they just Budahent, he's come out of nowhere and he's an absolute beast. So they've just got players coming on and keep on churning them through, whereas Ireland are still playing Omani, Murray.
Yeah.
And look, the guys are retiring now, but they're not being subbed off for exciting new players.
They've kind of overachieved, Ireland, haven't they? In a way, given compared to the depth they've got.
Yeah, that's fair.
But they've done really well. But as you say, coming to the end of the cycle.
So go on, give us a score for Ireland.
Well, England was second, so let's talk.
Oh, were
about
they?
Yeah,
All right,
England
okay.
finished second.
What do you think, Duncan? What do you think?
I'd say England. I'd give them a B plus.
B plus.
I think
They
that
don't deserve an A, do they?
Yeah, I think that's generous.
I think that if you told them before the tournament, if I said to you guys, you'll finish second,
Sure,
same wins as France and Ireland, you'd snap my arm off, but you were still disappointed at the same time. So it's like getting a B. You're proud, but you're also disappointed, and your parents are like, well, my parents at least were like, why isn't this an A?
I think the Scotland game was a C minus. It was a shocking performance against Scotland, I think, and yet they seem to play well. They got away with the France game, let's say, and then completely, just ran away with the game on Saturday.
I would say though that similar to France, England are working on that depth. I mean, I'm not gonna say too much about Pollock. It was his debut, and he played really well. As much as it was an exciting big win, beating a team that's on a 17 match losing streak is not, that's not something to hang your hat on. I don't think.
Did I dream it, or was it Ireland only played one debutant throughout the whole tournament?
Wow.
Really?
I'm sure I read that there was only one debutant throughout the whole Six Nations tournament, which is an interesting statistic for a side that we think is going through a change.
Yeah.
Okay.
So England, we're going to kind of B-ish.
Yeah.
And then Ireland
third. Yeah. Come on, Pat.
I think they've got B. They've got to be B.
Yeah. I'd give Ireland a C.
I'd go.
Me too.
That hiding by France. I mean, to not front up in your own stadium. And just, they scored 2 late tries there. It's a case that, they just...
And the struggle against Wales. They struggled to beat Wales.
He struggled. Yeah.
Yeah, you take
not
away...
They're not the Ireland from last year.
You take away Lowe and Hansen, and then the depth just wasn't there. Prendergast, I'm not so sold on him being their permanent 10. So, I'm not... I think Ireland are a C. Italy...
I liked Italy. I thought
I
they played
liked
some
Italy.
good rugby.
Boys in the middle, Brexham and Cello.
Did Italy finish above Scotland?
No,
we just.
I forgot about Scotland.
Oh, you just missed Scotland.
Because we just don't want to talk about it.
Upset Mick.
Well, there's some interesting. I don't have the statistics, but I've heard on a few podcasts about the number of times they get into the red zone or the 22
and can't score.
Don't convert.
So
they've got the
don't have the heft.
Scotland are a 40-minute side, and I've been saying this for since before we started the podcast.
Yeah.
They can be incredible for 40 minutes and can stand toe to toe with anybody, but they just can't do it for 80 minutes.
Yeah, and
close with England though, 1 point win, and Italy were a bit like that, weren't they? Their game against France, it was a very good first half, quite close. At
Italy are definitely a one-off.
I would say Scotland were probably good for 40 minutes against England, and England were bad for 30 minutes. So I think that meant it felt like a bigger performance, but I don't think it was Scotland necessarily being good for more than.
No, I bet that's fair.
Okay, what we
They
giving
were
them?
toe to toe with France for 40 minutes.
I C plus for me for Italy. I think they showed a lot of promise.
So Scotland, I'd C. Yeah, C minus.
I'd go for a C.
Yeah,
they're
I
about
think
there.
that's fair. Yeah,
and then
Italy,
we're about. I think I'm quite impressed with Italy.
They're
okay.
They're the only thing I'd say about Italy, and I think I've said it before, is that they are a little one-dimensional, and they are playing rugby from a couple years ago. So they look like they're ready to develop and move on. But I think Italy are probably also a C. I mean, they'd be happy to finish 5th 2 years in a row.
Sure.
So that's probably a box check for them.
Quick stat for you, by the way. If you number up all the tackles missed by individuals, Italy have 5 of the top 6.
Really?
So Brex, Ioni, Menoncello, Zalocchi and Lamaro.
Wow.
Tackles
missed. In the middle of it all is Rio Dyer with 15. How do you miss 15 missed tackles in the
I
wing?
used to do it every season.
Easy.
15 a game, mate. But Wales, go on.
Up and down, right? So they had
to D minus.
they had a B performance against
See me after school.
They had a B performance against Ireland and then an F performance against England. So there probably are something like a D, maybe even an E. But I guess you were expecting them not to do well in this. They just didn't turn up against Italy. So I mean, what's the future for them? They don't have a coach. I don't think that the chap that's in charge, Sherritt, I don't think he's going to stay. I think he's going. He's going to stay back at Cardiff. So
But in defence of England, perhaps you could say, although they were disappointing in many ways, Wales often play really well against England, and yet England didn't let them play well. And Wales had done pretty strongly against Ireland and Scotland.
Yeah.
So I think England got a bit more credit for that last game than perhaps we're giving them.
A couple of great moves.
Changing the score,
hitting the head.
changing the mark though.
The old ball. They love it.
They've done it before.
Every couple of years.
Did it a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And Marler did it. Yeah.
Go on, Pete.
I just wanted one shout out. Just that we had on the 8th of March, we had the old Surbitonans former players' lunch here. What a fantastic turnout! 12 tables, about 130 people from all over the country. It was just a great day, and just a quick shout out to Simon King, who gave a really excellent speech after we'd eaten. So well done, chaps. Great turnout. It was really excellent to see everybody make the effort to get here.
Great.
Yeah, I came down just after the lunch and it was humming. It was absolutely dumpy.
I had to go home at 7 o'clock because I couldn't drink anymore.
How many red wine bottles of red wine did your table have?
No, not that many, I don't think. But I was in a downstairs bar, and at 7 o'clock, the place was absolutely buzzing still.
Great.
Yeah,
that's good.
Great day.
Credit to you, Pete, for working really hard to get these Braemars all-stars together, recruiting more and getting networking with each other.
Yeah, we've done all right.
Well done.
We've done okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Brilliant.
Just on the Six Nations, though, so big thing to look out for in the women's will be the England home match against France. So they're looking for breaking some records and filling Twickers for that. So
yep,
I think there's still some tickets available, but that will be a really big attendance, and it'll be probably the best game.
Is the top tier open?
I don't know the facts and figures, but I know that they've been driving it, and they've opened and sold stuff, and then opened up a new lot, and should be good. Should be really good.
Excellent.
Amazing. Go on, Pete. try my best. Try my best to keep this below an hour.
Pat, as we said, boots around the country, but actually TC at the moment. Is he?
Oh, he's in Nepal.
Delivering Cobham rugby shirts.
They're just everywhere. Yeah.
Fantastic. Great work, TC. Great work.
Wow.
Yeah.
We just get around, don't we? We really do. Pat, thanks very much for coming in.
Pleasure.
And tell us, and good luck with more boots, please.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
for a run.
We'll get some things sent out to all the coaches to tell their teams
We'll
to
do
just
great.
pop their boots in the.
Yeah, and I think it's chivying people nicely from now.
Yeah.
To keep it flowing.
Yeah,
Nice,
absolutely.
And
Great. Pete,
Brilliant.
thanks very much.
thank you.
And,
Good fun again.
Duncan, thank you, pal.
Goodbye.
And Lenny, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
And, the bill for the sauna will be sent your way. It's absolutely
Yeah.
mental. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Cheers.